in the memory of the Holocaust.
Categories of poems dedicated to the memory of the Holocaust. I want to start with a poem of the Tartar poet, Musa Jalil, Barbarism. This is my favorite poem. In fact, this poem is not about Babi Yar. However, in my feelings, it resonates with the tragedy of Babi Yar. When I was asked to write a poem about Babi Yar, I did not know what and how to write better. A story that happened in Hawaii, it all stirred up inside of me, shook up. I could no longer lie quietly on the beach, basking in the warm sun. It was a time of awakening, for dozed inside me the idea that was given to me. But the first poem of Musa Jalil's, Barbarism. Barbarism. They drove with the children and their mothers, forced them to dig a hole, and they themselves stood there, a bunch of savages, and laughing with hoarse voices. At the edge of the abyss lined a powerless woman, skinny guys. A drunk major came and looked with copper eyes at the doomed. Muddy rain howled in the foliage of neighboring groves, and in the mist-clad fields, and the clouds descended upon the earth, frantically chasing each other. No, I will not forget this day. I'll never forget, ever. I saw rivers crying like children, and the motherland sobbed in fury. I saw with my own eyes as the sad sun, bathed in tears through a cloud, appeared on the field, kissed the children for the last time. For the last time. Autumn forest was noisy. It seemed now it was mad. Its foliage angrily stormed, mist thickened around. I heard a powerful oak fall all of a sudden. He fell, uttering a heavy sigh. Fear unexpectedly gripped the children, clung to their mothers, or they clung, clinging to their skirts. And there was a sharp sound of a shot interrupting a curse that blurted from one woman. Child, patient boy, hid his head in the folds of her dress, not yet an old woman. She watched with complete horror how not to lose her mind. Understood. The baby got it all. Hide me, Mom, we don't have to die. He cries, and like a leaf, cannot keep from trembling. The child becomes only more dear to her. The mother, bending down, lifted with both hands, pressed to the heart, right in front of the barrel. Mother, I want to live. No, Mom, let me go. Let me go. What are you waiting for? And the child wants to escape from the hands. The crying is terrible. The voice is thin. It pierces the heart like a knife. Don't be afraid, my boy. Now you will be free to sigh. Close your eyes, but do not hide your head. Do not let the executioner bury you alive. Be patient, my son, be patient. Now would not be hurt. And he closed his eyes, and blood reddening, twisting with red ribbon on the neck, two lives merging, falling on the ground, two lives and one love. Thunder crashed, wind whistled through the clouds, land wept in deaf anguish. Oh, how many tears, hot and combustible, my land, tell me what's going on with you. You saw often the human misery. Your millions of years bloomed for us, but even though once, have you been experienced with a shame like this? Barbarism like this? My country, the enemies threatening to you, but lift above the banner of great truth. Wash it with bloody tears of land, and let rays pierce it. Let it be ruthlessly destroyed, those barbarians, those savages that greedily swallow the blood of children, the blood of our mothers. The Swan. In the shade of the pond where flamingos walk and herons contemplate the water surface, a black swan built her nest, laid eggs there, became a brood, wait for small, nice hatchlings. But an angry duck runs her, insidiously, steals, attacks. Swan tosses around, requests aid, protection. How she alone suffers this all. Suddenly the swan trembled, dropped her head, let forth a groan as a tear rolled down. The flamingos stood silently on the sidelines. The herons contemplated the water surface. People hurried somewhere. The swan's tears rolled on the ground. Swan's tears. Have you seen swan's tears? They're very similar to the woman's. Mother is crying. She lost her son, grievous Ukraine, groaned in grief. The leaves rustle. Bobby Yar is restless. He never knew what will see this. Shovels pierced the ground, and innocent victims dug their own graves. The savage torturers searched all Kiev for Jews, herded them into the ravine, and people went with faith in deliverance, gave all they hold dear, but ruthless with pleasure, every single one was murdered. The land cried innocent, leaves rustled, worthy lives, sky prayed stop. But verdict was response by the soulless and atrocious Nazis. The son asked, what did they do wrong? Release them now, but the answer was, all are guilty to death. They are Jews. They are Jews. And the woman's scream tore up the space. Sonny, escape, run away. Mama, how could I leave you? I always want to be with you. He turned pale, wept. An eyebrow of a German officer nervously crept up. What do you cry about here? Speak quick, he sternly remarked to the collaborator, and the ingratiated collaborator bent in bow, all translated for the fascist literally. The boy was drenched by gasoline, set on fire, and set on fire. Torch reached to the sky of innocent, childish flesh. Child's mother turned gray. She lost her mind in exhaustion, writhed on the ground. People fell in the raw graves. Mothers, children, because they are Jews. This cannot be forgotten. We will always remember that. And dreams, let's not entertain the fascists. Payoff will come for crimes, for the swan. Women's tears. P.S. Please note, the nationality of the collaborator, the poem, does not say. Grass. I go by cut grass and think, how the cut was painful to it under sharp sight. It, luxurious, grew, aspired to reach the sky. But someone took a scythe in hand and clearly, slowly, step by step, and clearly, slowly, stroke by stroke, suddenly cut under the root. And after only silence, that has named in the past meadow. The gentle warm beam of sun will break through the gloomy clouds, and grass will sprout once again, and it will draw onto the beam. It will wash by the dew. A lush green wavy field it will cover all around, and again the meadow will be splendid, green,